All right, so Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 finally played through the campaign, and I want to talk about it. So I've been waiting for Warhammer 40K since I don't know, since when I rolled credits on the first game all those years ago. To me, whenever I finished that first game, I always thought, "Oh my God, why? I want to play more. I want another one of these." And why it took so long to get a sequel out, I have no idea. But to be honest, I am really happy that the sequel is here and it delivered in every way that I was thinking. I want to start by saying I do not know anything about Warhammer 40K lore. My extent of knowledge in the game is just playing that first Space Marine and now playing the second one. I do not know anything else. I do not think myself as a fan, like a super fan of Warhammer 40K, but I did enjoy the first game so much that when I saw the trailer on this game, I thought, oh my God, I can't wait to play this. I'm going to play it day one. And yeah, I am so glad that it's here. I'm so glad that I got to play it. I also want to preface that if you want to join me on stream, I'm going to continue doing the co-op stuff of the game over on twitch.tv/Vahlkor. I will be playing with viewers and my friends. So if you guys want to do that, go ahead and check it out. Link will be in the description down below. And without further ado, let me kind of jump into this, what I got in my head. So as I said, I completed the campaign of the game, and I want to tell you right away, one of the things that drew me in to this game was the amazing vistas that they set up. Now, it's a little hard for me to explain because I know I whenever I play an open world game or something like that, I'm always looking at the environment. I always want to see the world and see what they got crafted for me. But in this game, it's not just the world, it's what's going on in it. Like you get to this portions on the map where it's all about going from one battle arena to another, but you get to this place and then you're looking through the horizon and what's going on, and you got, like, if you're looking at my background right now, like I'm looking at my screen because I keep looking at this kind of like vista that has like a battle going on, and there's like thousands of enemies in the screen, and it's so cool because then you're over here fighting another 1000 enemies in your side, but then there's so much going on. And I have to say that out of every game I played, these gotta be the best set pieces that I've ever seen when it comes to projecting what's going on in the battlefield, when it comes to giving you a sense of what is happening right now in between what you're doing and the actual world. This is exactly what I wanted, honestly. I cannot even begin to say what is wrong with something like this. I think it's just great. Now, you will see these a few times throughout your campaign, and a lot of the other side of the campaign, you're kind of like going from corridor to corridor, going into different battle arenas to kind of like fight waves of enemies. That's pretty much the entire gameplay loop. But it never really feels boring. It can feel a little samey in the sense of the amount of enemy types that you fight. You're always fighting the same enemies from the beginning of the game all the way to the end of the game when you roll credits, with the exception of the bosses, of course. But even the bosses, they tend to be kind of like an enemy that you fought before, but it's like a bigger version of it. So that's kind of what you would expect on something like this. I cannot remember if the first game was exactly like that, but I do remember that in the first game, you will always fighting the same type of enemies all the way through, and it's very much the same here. Now, that doesn't mean the game is bad or anything like that. In the contrary, I think it just adds to the feel of you're fighting the war against the Tyranids right now, and that's the enemies that you're gonna encounter. I also want to say that before you jump into Space Marine 2, I think if you have not played Space Marine 1, and I would say watch a recap video. I watched a recap video to kind of get a refresher in my head on what happened on the first game and stuff like that. I watched one from GameSpot. It was a very good video. It was about, I don't know, for 20 minutes. I don't know the amount of time. I'll put it in the description below. You guys can kind of like look it up there. But it was a very good video. I really recommend watching it because from Space Marine 1 to Space Marine 2, there's 200 years of gap. There's events that happen in the lore that I do not know, and if it wasn't because of the recap video, I would not know. And after watching that recap video and playing through the campaign, a lot of the things that did happen in the campaign landed really well. I think they were like, the narrative was amazing. It did a very good job of keeping you engaged, and by being able to connect those dots with that recap video, I really felt like I understood what was going on throughout the narrative. So very, very important. I would think it's a must. Honestly, I think it's a must to at least watch a recap video if you don't want to play through the first game. The first game did not age very well graphically, although the first game I remember was a big fun. It was a lot of fun for me to play back then in all those years. So either play through the first game or watch a recap video for Space Marine 1 before jumping into Space Marine 2. I think that would exponentially increase the amount of enjoyment you're gonna get from this game. So keep that in mind. Now for the performance side of things, I'm not gonna go into like a super in-depth performance because I don't know how to do that, right? I'm just gonna tell you my experience with my rig. I'm running at 3090. I have 34 gigs of RAM, 36, whatever, 30 something gigs of RAM, 32 gigs of RAM, and I have a i9 something. So I don't have a super high-end machine, but I don't have like a lower machine either. I don't think, I think I'm sitting pretty somewhere in the middle. So I did not have any performance issue at all. I was running DLSS. I did not play with the settings at all. It's just how the game did it for me whenever I first booted it. Everything was like ultra or whatever, and then the DLSS was on, and I do not recall seeing any frame drops at all during my playtime. It was all very steady, very smooth. It didn't matter what was going on in the battlefield. I did not have any crashes, nothing like that. That was really good. I really enjoyed that I was stable, because I do always worry that I'm not going to be able to run a game optimally because my computer is kind of old now. But this one didn't give me any problems. I really glad that I was able to just experience the game with no problems in that aspect. There is one small complaint, and that is actually two complaints. One of the gameplay cinematics that I happened in the game, there was like your guy was talking to the guys were talking, like the ultramarines were talking between each other, and one of the armor pieces of someone was like kind of like going out from like the mesh of the character. It was like a texture glitch, and then it was like flying on the air or whatever. That was one of the glitches I saw. And then one more thing was the loading screens for this game were quite lengthy. They were about, I want to say, anywhere from 45 seconds to like maybe a minute and a half. And I'm talking about loading screen between going from one mission to the other mission. So it kind of like has like this hangar type thing where the Space Marines are sitting in the ship going through the place, but then it fades to black, and then you have like the actual loading screen happening, and you just kind of sit there kind of waiting for the game to load. I think they could have done something to make that a little better. Hide the loading screens into like an interactive screen of some sort. There's also another instance where you are just like in the first game, you jump down and you jetpack down to your landing point, which I guess is not something that Space Marines usually do, as we know. I say that because of, I just played the game and just watched the recap video. But there's this thing where you're like jetpacking down and you're like avoiding obstacles, and then after you do that sequence, the game fades to black, and then you have a loading screen. In my eyes, they should have made that the loading screen. Like, they should have made it an interactive loading screen, kind of like an elevator in video games, right? But they did not do that. I don't know why. I don't know why they didn't think about that. I don't know if they did or not, but small little things there, here and there, that I think they could have done a little better. Aside from that, again, no crashes, no nothing. Everything ran well. I'm hoping that it will run well for many of you out there, because it is definitely a fantastic game, and your enjoyment will definitely rely on the game running smooth for the amount of things going on in the battlefield. But like I said, I finished the campaign. Took me about 6 to 7 hours. I really enjoy it. It was a fantastic campaign. It was a little on the shorter side. I would like to have at least 12 to 15 hours of this, just going through like the campaign itself. But I'm not really gonna complain too much. I still got the co-op to go through. I know there's 6 missions, and there's like a lot of grinding involved into that, then you can kind of like do different difficulties and like customize your ultramarine and all that stuff. So all that stuff is gonna be hopefully amazing. I'm hoping to spend another 30 to 40 hours doing that. I am not interested on the PvP side of things. I might check it out, I might not, we'll see. But at least the campaign, I know I'm gonna be playing with my friends and with some viewers over on the channel. So if you guys want to do that, go ahead and check out the Twitch channel. Is Warhammer Space Marine 2 worth getting? I'm gonna say honestly, if you're just looking for a good old video game that you just want to spend some time playing through co-op, or I mean, if you're into PvP, maybe look that up. I think it's definitely a solid package. I mean, they give you everything nice and neat. There's no issues running it, and yeah, I hope that if you want to check it out, you do. I think the game deserves some love. It was well made. It looked amazing, and I think it is a great experience. So overall, this is a fantastic game. I recommend it. And yeah, I'm gonna leave it here. Again, I don't want to extend too much. I know I'm rambling at this point. One more time, check out the Twitch channel, come to the stream, let's play together, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. See you later.